Todd Young Online presents Young Tales. Tales for the young and the young at heart. Today's story, Bulfinch's mythology, King Arthur and his knights, the return of Tristram, and the two Isoldes. In the deep green woods of Cornwall, far from the towers of Tintagel, the knight Tristram of Leonis, Leonis, lived in sorrow and exile. Banished by his uncle, King Mark, for the love that bound him to Queen Isolde the Fair, he wandered the wilderness, his only companions a faithful hound and his lute. He built for himself a humble shelter among the oaks where the river met the sea. There he hunted the deer and played his harp, the melodies floating down the valleys, songs of longing and loss, so sweet that even the shepherds wept. And sometimes when the moon was bright, a veiled figure came stealing through the trees, the queen herself bringing food, comfort, and tears. Isolde said softly, "Beloved, the court whispers your name still. Mark dreams of vengeance, yet I can find no peace without you." And Tristram, "My heart is yours, Isolde, but love born in darkness casts long shadows. Let us part before sorrow deepens." They parted, yet neither could forget. To escape his grief, Tristram took ship for Brittany, where King Howell held court. There he fought in many battles and tournaments, earning fame greater than ever before. The king, grateful for his service, said, "Brave knight, ask of me what you will. I have a daughter, fair and noble, Isolde of the White Hands. Let her be your wife and your peace." The name struck Tristram like a bell in a dream, and in that moment he thought perhaps the old wound might finally heal. If she will have me, I shall serve her with honor. And so he wedded the second Isolde, fair, gentle, and kind, but his heart remained captive to the first. Though he was faithful in word and deed, Tristram often took up his harp at night and played the songs of Cornwall, of love lost and never found. His wife, hearing him, knew her rival's name without being told. "You sing of another, my lord." "Aye, and of myself, for a man cannot forget the truth of his own heart." She said no more, but her heart grew cold. One day a ship came to the Breton coast, bearing tidings from Camelot. King Arthur called all knights to his hall for a great tournament. Tristram rode forth, his fame preceding him, and there met again his old friend Sir Dinadan, who laughed to see him. "Still the lover, Tristram? Still the poet of lost causes?" he teased. "Still the fool, perhaps," Tristram said, smiling, "but one who will not cease while breath remains." At the tournament, Tristram fought gloriously, overthrowing even Sir Lancelot du Lac. But when Lancelot learned his name, he embraced him with honor and joy. And thus the two greatest knights of the Round Table became brothers in arms. But peace never lasted long for Tristram. Soon after there came a messenger for Cornwall with tidings of war, and of Isolde the Fair, imprisoned once again by Mark's jealousy. Tristram rose in wrath and sorrow. "I have fled from her too long. I will return, though all the world would stand against me." He took ship by night, the waves black beneath him, the wind moaning like fate. Disguised as a minstrel, Tristram entered Tintagel once more. He came to the queen's tower and played beneath her window, a song of old days, of forest nights and willow leaves upon the river. "That voice, that song, Tristram, is it thou?" Isolde said, voice trembling. "It is I, my love. Come to claim but one more moment." They embraced in silence, hearts bound by joy and fear. But the court soon learned of their meeting, and Mark's spies carried word to the king. Mark set an ambush in the forest, yet when his men struck, Tristram's sword was swifter. He slew them all save one, a knight named Andred, who fled, wounded and cursing. "A king who must hire cowards to avenge his shame is no king at all," Tristram said bitterly. But now there was no peace left in Cornwall. Tristram fled again, this time forever. He returned to Brittany, weary of battle and love alike. His wife, Isolde of the White Hands, greeted him coldly. though she said no word, for in his eyes she saw the ghost of another woman. One day he was wounded by a poisoned spear in battle, the same venom that had nearly slain him years before. Knowing death drew near, he called for his old comrade Tedious and said, "Take ship to Cornwall. Tell the queen I am dying. If she will come to me, raise a white sail upon your return. If not, a black one." And so Tedious sailed. Days passed. Tristram lay upon his bed, his strength fading like candlelight. Then one morning his wife looked from the window and saw a sail upon the horizon. It was white, but bitterness hardened her heart. She turned to him and said, "It is black, my lord." Tristram closed his eyes, whispering one word, "Isolde," and his soul departed. When the ship reached shore, Isolde the Fair hurried to his chamber. She found him lifeless, his face serene. She kissed his lips and cried, "Death is kinder than life without thee." Then, laying herself beside him, she too breathed her last. The people buried them together in one tomb by the sea. From her grave sprang a rose tree, from his a vine, and their branches twined above the stone, mingling forever. When King Mark sought to cut them apart, they grew together again by morning. And so ended the tale of Tristram and Isolde, lovers bound by fate, divided by pride, yet joined at last beyond the reach of kings. Their song still lingers, carried by wind and wave, wherever hearts remember love that endures all things. And here's where we end for today. Young Tales is produced and narrated by Todd Young from Todd Young Online. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe and join us next time for another story. Thank you for your support.